Oh, I was thinking, what was I thinking? I was thinking that I can sit back. Cause I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be reading, right? We reading, we about to get in this word, this Jeremiah story, the continuation of where we left off. And I'm like, okay, I'm up here, right? But I'm like, man, ain't this called rest? And then research. And then we get the revelation. Are y'all kicked back? Are y'all chilling like this? Are y'all kicked back like that in the chair? I'm like, man, let me sit back. Let me sit. Can I sit back? Are you guys sitting back? Can I sit back too? So I don't have to be like this. Look, good my good posture, which is nice, but can I sit back like this with you guys? Are you guys sitting back, kicking back? Can you still hear me? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I probably can still read. I might have to sit up when I read, but I was like, man, I want to sit back and kick back and rest too. you know? So, this feels better. I'll probably get up though when I read and stuff like that. But I said, man, I want to relax too. So, Jeremiah, hallelujah, Most High, hallelujah. This is going to be a good one. Last time we talked about the people who wanted things. They didn't necessarily want the Most High. They wanted him as long as he could provide and as long as he could do what they wanted him to do, kind of like a genie, or put a quarter in, you get a song out, a jukebox, if you will. That's kind of how they were treating the Most High. As long as he was providing, they were with him. The moment that he wasn't, or they got fearful, then that's when they cut out and they started worshiping other gods. But this was a pattern, so it wasn't like it was something new. So that's kind of where we left off. And you know what I want to do too? I just want to make sure that, oh yeah, that's funny. Sit back and relax, Nicole says. Awesome, awesome. I sure will, sis. Okay. All right. So that's where I've been this week. Critical, critical, critical message for us to be studying right now, especially with all of the deception that is in the world right now. You guys, is thick. It is very, very thick. And I think because I'm not necessarily always peeking into what the church is doing or not doing, what those who believe even in the Most High are doing and are not doing, the Most High Yah. From that perspective, I don't peek in a whole lot, and it's not because I'm not. I don't know. I just don't. I'm focused on what Yah has called me to do, and I'll continue to do that. But He's been having me take a peek at what's really going on in this world beyond what our government is doing, but right in the smack dab in the middle of what believers who claim to know the word of the Most High Abba Yah and to follow what Yah says. And it's a hot mess. I'm not saying all, I'm saying, but many have fallen off, which it was prophesied to be like that, in the end. But so it's a blessing that we're all here. You realize it's really an outlier that we are all here, excited about being with one another, but also excited to study the word of the Most High, not from a place of trying to prove anything, but from a place that we love the Most High. We're not getting anything, right? We're getting His word in us so that we can be faithful to Him to the very, very end. That's what's really going on. When you really think about it. So I praise the Most High for having us where He has us. Because at first I was like, Jeremiah, like, I'm reading this and I'm going, I told y'all the last week, like, why, we were answering those questions. Why is the Most High so upset in that way? And so we cleared up that if you haven't watched or if you wasn't with us, if you weren't with us last week, then I highly recommend going through our last live stream. It was a long one, but you know what? Hey, this is probably one of the most important things that we can do on our own, but also, when we come together, is to see what the Most High Yah's mind has to say. So here we are. This is kind of what we're going to be going through. This was my question last week that we didn't get all the way through. And I put up on the screen, quick side note, this all happens after Babylon takes over Judah, and Jeremiah had been spared from the court of the guard. When Nebuchadnezzar had Babylon come through and destroy Jerusalem, it said that Jeremiah was already in the court of the guard. So I don't know if he was, I haven't dug that deep to see if he was not necessarily a prisoner, but he was in a kind of a compromised position, if you will, being held. That's where they found him, but they let him go with a governor who we'll be introduced to, Gedaliah. And he goes with him. He ends up going with him. Nebuchadnezzar lets Jeremiah cut out, and he goes with this governor. And so it's very interesting. So I'll just read the question here. I said, I'm assuming that there's a remnant of Judah who's been captured or scared because Ishmael had struck. This is the governor. And you're probably like, Ishmael, well, it's not. And we'll definitely get into that. Actually, thank you, Most High. Hold on. We got to read this. I can't forget this. Let's go to this real quick. I can't forget this. This is only our third live stream, you guys, but I can't forget. I can't forget our what we're doing. So this is our. You know how we have a theme song, Amazing Yah, keeps us focused on the eternal kingdom. This is our theme scripture, which is right on the screen, Jeremiah 29:13. And it says, and you shall seek me and shall find me when you search for me with all your heart. And I like reading the rest of that. And I shall be found by you, declares Yah, and I shall turn back your captivity and gather you. And he goes on. But the gist of tonight is, and you shall seek me and shall find me when you search for me with all of your heart. So, yeah, that's, we always want to start there. So thank you, Yah, for reminding me of that. Okay. So where we at? Get this situated. I feel like I'm just like, all right, I'll get settled in here, you guys. So back to the question here. And apparently all the people came to the prophet Jeremiah to ask him, oh, thank you. Ishmael is not the same that's a common name. It's like John or Jack or something like that. It was a common name. This is someone else. We'll discover who he is, his lineage, if you will. And apparently all of the people came to the prophet Jeremiah to ask him to get Yah to help. And Yah said, stay in this land and I'll show compassion and you'll even return to your own land. So I had several questions. What land are they in now? I kind of already discovered that, but we'll go through this. How they get there? Are they captive at that time? Why would they go back to Egypt? Weren't they slaves there or no? Also, who are these people I mentioned talking to Jeremiah who got struck? Because the governor unfortunately, he got killed by Ishmael. Now, keep in mind, Ishmael is supposed to be, he kind of went rogue, if you will, but he stirred up a lot of chaos for the remnant of Judah that were left there. After Babylon came through and destroyed, there was that little remnant of Judah, and Ishmael was among them, but he wanted to kind of retaliate a little bit there, and so he ended up killing the governor, this Gedaliah, who was appointed by Nebuchadnezzar, the king at the time of Babylon. So he just added chaos upon chaos that was really unnecessary. But we'll see some of the reasonings why he wanted to do that. So let's just kind of start piecing this thing together. And a lot of that I already have the answers to, but since we're coming together and I've done this through the week, and I haven't been able to share my findings with you, I think that this would be a good place to start. So what land are they in at this point? So they're in the land of Judah, specifically around Mitzpah after Jerusalem had already fallen. Jerusalem was destroyed by Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, so I'm going to kind of skip around if we already kind of talked about some of these things. So most of the people that were left behind, it says the poorest people, the farmers, some soldiers, some officials. So they were physically still in Judah, but now under Babylonian control. Okay. How did they get there? Babylon, we talked about that. Babylon invaded Judah. Jerusalem is destroyed. Many are taken captive, and Babylon appoints a governor over the remaining people in the land. So that governor is this guy here, Gedaliah or Gedaliahu. So he ruled from Mitzpah, not Jerusalem, since Jerusalem was in ruins. Okay. Yeah, and we already know that the remnant that was left behind were the people that unfortunately ended up running to Egypt, disobeying the Most High. So that was kind of that little pocket of people. All right, so who struck the governor? I'm just going to call him governor. He was assassinated by Ishmael, and Ishmael was the son of Nethaniah. Ishmael was of royal blood. He was a descendant of David. He was possibly supported by the king of Ammon, anti-Babylonian. So he was one of those cats that was like, you come into our homeland and you take us captive, but I'm not going down like that. And so, and you'll see he was kind of in cahoots with someone else to do this killing. So he killed the governor and several Babylonians with him, and it was politically catastrophic. Why? Because now Babylon could interpret it as rebellion. That's the thing. They already came in and destroyed Jerusalem. There's just a little bit of Judah left there, the remnant. Yah's promising, though, to if you just stay there and you serve the folk there, keep the peace, I'll protect you. And in fact, I'll make all things new. That's what Yah was saying through the prophet of Jeremiah on the under, but they weren't listening, obviously. But this Ishmael is making things worse. He's taking control. He's taking things in his own hands. It's kind of like, I don't want to wait for the Most High. This is what they did. It's time to retaliate. We going in. And it's like, Yah already had another plan. He was going to hook you up anyway. He was going to protect you anyway. But some folk want to take matters into their own hands. So who are the people going to Jeremiah? After Ishmael kills Gedaliah, the remaining military leaders step in. The main one was Johanan, son of Kareah, also mentioned. There's various names, I guess, in manuscripts. He could be called Jezaniah, Azariah, I suppose, is what they're saying here. Military captains, the remaining people, men, women, and children. So all these people are going to Jeremiah, basically everyone. And so they're survivors, military officers, civilians left in Judah. They rescue captives from Ishmael, and then they panic. They fear Babylon will retaliate. So the people are scared. So they go to Jeremiah asking, pray to Yah for us, should we stay or flee? And here's where I want to go and actually read that, because I think it's important. Let me find this real quick. I thought this was interesting. They asked Jeremiah to pray to the Most High. And it's so interesting how their hearts were already in a different position when they were praying. It's incredible how human, how we can feel that. You'll see, it's all going to tie in. You'll see. Let's go to this. So I think it's right here. Let me make sure that we can see on the screen. Where are we at? Is it right here? We beg you, let our petition be acceptable to you, and pray for us to Yah, your Elohim, for all this remnant, for we are few, left of many as your eyes see us. They're just basically saying, they're talking to Jeremiah, and they're saying, we beg you, go to the Most High on our behalf. You see, we're just a little bit of remnant here. And, obviously they're terrified. They just got their homes and everything destroyed. And one of the cats among them, Ishmael, done killed the governor that was put in charge to be in charge over this remnant. And we'll not tonight, but I already read previous chapters that say this governor was cool. He was cool. He was basically just like serve, do the work in peace. And they would have been left alone. And Yah already had another plan for them. But anywho, they went to Jeremiah, and it says, and let Yah, your Elohim, show us the way in which we should walk. Because I've been sitting with this. And let Yah, your Elohim, show us the way in which we should walk and the word we should do. This is a beautiful prayer if it is heartfelt and it is sincere. This is wonderful. This is what we all want to pray. Yah, show us the way in which we should walk and the word we should do. Beautiful prayer if it's sincere. And so Jeremiah, he's like, I'm going to pray to the Most High according to your words, and it shall be. I declare to you all of the word that the Most High answers you, and I will withhold not a word from you. So I'll go to him. And so this is where, but look, this is the thing. It's like promises. Remember how we were talking about how the covenant is so serious? And we haven't even really scratched the surface on that. But it's so important that when you're making a promise to the Most High, or when you're asking him to show me the way and what I'm supposed to be doing down here, Yah, and the word and what I'm supposed to do. So however he delivers the word to you, and this is going to tie into the story I'm going to share with you at the end. However he delivers that word, it could be through a different person. It could be through your own ruach. It could be a different situation. Are you going to be ready to receive that word? Are you going to be ready to receive it if he says, no, stay in Babylon? But I want to go to Egypt. Stay in Babylon. But I want to go over here. Stay in Babylon. I got plans for you. So I just thought that was interesting. Okay, so let's get back to this kind of timeline here that we got going on. All right, so are they captives at the time? Not exactly under Babylonian rule, but they're still physically in Judah. Okay, got it. They are more like a small occupied population under imperial supervision. But now that the governor is dead, they fear Babylon will blame them. Babylon will return with force. So they're scared, rightfully so. Okay. You know what? Give me a second, you guys. I want to be able to see you guys too, just in case, just in case somebody doing some, cartwheels or grabbing a microphone in the chat. Hi, Cindy. See, and I could say hi to new people that come through. Well, Cindy's not new, but people that come in, I'll be able to see you. All right. Okay. There we go. Okay, cool. So yeah, all right. So let's keep going, because I actually did this. You see that here in the green. Yah says, "Stay in the land; I will protect you." He keeps saying this. Going to Egypt is choosing to not only disobey, but he tells you what is going to happen. The same sword that they were afraid of getting in Jerusalem at the time, the sword, Yah says, is going to follow you to Egypt. And so they weren't really listening to Jeremiah. And it says, what land does Yah mean when he says stay in this land? He means Judah, the land that they're currently in. Even though it's ruined, it's unstable, it's under Babylonian authority, Yah's promise was, if you remain, I will plant you and build you up. That's literally what it says in the scripture. If you flee to Egypt, the sword you fear will follow you there. So who is exactly who? So this is just kind of a rundown. Gedaliah or Gedaliahu, Babylon appointed governor of Judah. So that's who was appointed over Judah. Ishmael was the royal descendant who assassinated him. And correct me, I may have stand corrected. I think I may have said Nebuchadnezzar appointed Gedaliah to be the governor of Judah. I'll have to make a note to check that in ChatGTP. I actually can check it right now because it's gonna bother me. I don't want to say the wrong information. Let's just say did Nebuchadnezzar appoint governor over Judah? Don't blab. Let's see what we got. Yeah, okay, cool. So that's correct. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. So yeah, Nebuchadnezzar did that, and Yah used Nebi to appoint them with a governor that was all right. He was cool. So Yah knows what he's doing, even if we don't. The big picture, this is all about trusting Yah in a devastated land versus running back to Egypt for political safety. And so they went to Egypt anyway. We saw that in Jeremiah 43. And so this was my follow-up question. Now, it may repeat a couple of different things, but it's in a different way because I want a different angle, but factually accurate. Sometimes it's good, like when you're digging in the scriptures. Yeah, you can get an answer. Yeah, you can go back to the scriptures, obviously asking the Ruach to give you revelation of those scriptures to really make it be understandable to your mind. Sometimes it doesn't happen like right when you're reading it. It could be a couple of days and it hits you like, oh man, that's what that was. Or you go back a couple of other chapters previously and you're like, oh, so how did that tie in? It's like your hunger and your thirst for wanting to figure it out sometimes takes different angles. Sometimes it takes days. Sometimes it takes weeks. It's like a muscle. It's like we're building a muscle while we're digging and we're learning and investigating what the Most High's mind says, his plans. It's a muscle that we're working out. So it takes a little bit of time. But it's always good to have some follow-up questions to get it a different angle. So my question was like, so even after being told by the prophet Jeremiah that the Creator explicitly said, stay put in Babylon, and he would have the Babylonians show compassion, still they went rogue. But why the governor that was appointed by Nebuchadnezzar was killed by Ishmael? We answered that. Well, I kind of answered that, but we're going to see a little bit further down this timeline. The underlying motive, I wanted to know that. It looked like Ishmael was in cahoots with someone else, a political figure, to do this killing. We'll take a look at that too. And then it says that the remnant of Judah were scared that they would be blamed. We looked at that. And that's why they were wanting to run back to Egypt. So we kind of understand their fear and why they wanted to go back to Egypt, but they also wanted things because they already knew that idol worship was a guaranteed instant gratification. They knew that. So they're like, well, we did it before and we got stuff, so we'll just do that since y'all ain't coming through. Well, and then I just said, let's get some clarity on Ishmael's role and the governor and all of that. So we kind of covered that, but here's a different angle, if you will. So what actually happened? So after Jerusalem fell to Nebuchadnezzar II, see, this is going to hit somebody different, just reading it a second time with a different angle. We kind of already just went over this, but it may hit you different, just a different perspective, still factually accurate. Babylon did not fully exile everyone. A remnant was left in Judah. Babylon appointed Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, as governor, Jeremiah 40. That's in the 40th chapter of Jeremiah. Okay, the governor encouraged. We didn't see this earlier. The governor encouraged Judah to submit to Babylon, to stay in the land, to serve the Chaldeans. Chaldeans are Babylonians. So they're not two different people. It's kind of like Romans. Like if you're living in Rome, they call them Romans, the Romans. Or Assyria. If you're living in Assyria, they will say the Assyrians. So the Chaldeans were like the Babylonians, if you will. So anyway, the governor is basically saying, you're going to live, just do these things, submit to the land, keep the peace. So, and it says, key insight right there, this was actually mercy. They were being given stability after judgment, which is amazing. So who was Ishmael? We looked at him a little bit. Okay, he was the royal seed in the David's lineage, a surviving member of Judah's former elite. So he had some prestige. And he assassinated, unfortunately, the governor in chapter 41 of Jeremiah, but he didn't act alone. He was encouraged and funded by Baalis. That's interesting. And I didn't dig deep into that. Maybe one of you all during the week or something can dig and to find out, you know, are these, does this have any connection with Baal? Apparently they were some kind of a political figure, but he was in cahoots with them. Isn't that interesting that you could be one of Yah's, right? Ishmael. You could be one of Yah's. He was upset that they came through, the Babylonians, Nebuchadnezzar, and took over his land and all of that. And so he killed. Okay, we know that you don't just kill people, right? We know that that's wrong. So we know that that was not of the Most High Yah's telling him to do that, right? So it's interesting that he was in cahoots with someone else to do that, is all I'm saying, which, again, in the green, as you can see, destabilized Judah and weakens the Babylonians' influence because now there's chaos in the land. Okay, got it. Understand what's going on. So he wasn't, Yah didn't put him up to that. He was political rebellion, assassination, treason against Babylon, internal sabotage. So this guy, it's kind of like having somebody in the bunch, like you rolling with Yah, but somebody, they look the part, they sound the part, but their heart is wicked, right? But we all kind of look alike. We all kind of know about Yah. We know about his word and this, that, and the third, but somebody's heart is wicked. And that's what you have here. So they're always going to be among us, which is interesting to know that he is a person in this story. Anyway, why kill the governor? Several layers. Political ambition. Ishmael was royal blood. He was like, I am that. I'm of royal blood. And the governor, Gedaliah, was not. So there's already some jealousy right there too. I mean, it doesn't explicitly say that in the scripture, but you can kind of put the pieces together on that. Ishmael may have viewed him as a Babylonian puppet. He's like, oh, you're just going to do whatever the Babylonians tell you to do. I'm not trying to surrender and submit after they done ran through our land. I'm trying to get revenge. Let me get you up out of here. And I'm working with somebody else. And if he worked with the Baalis, whoever they are, I actually could find out, but I have some other stuff to get to. Maybe like I said, maybe one of you guys can find out, or I can dig through that this week. But what I'm thinking of, he probably didn't do it for free, is what I was trying to get at. He probably, when you hire somebody to assassinate someone, they're like, what is in it for me? Because I could literally go to jail for this. I could die for this. My whole life is on the line. So how much are you paying me to do this? And so that's why they call them paid assassins. So, I mean, I have never, I'm acting like I know, I'm bumping arms with the assassins over here. That's actually, no, it's just, I just know how somebody like that would think in a position like this, because when somebody runs up in your land, you're going to feel some kind of way. So I get why he felt that way, but that's not what Yah wanted them to do. So nationalistic pride, I'm at B right there, you guys. The governor, Gedaliah, promoted submission, served the Chaldeans, live in peace. Ishmael may have seen that as compromise. And it says he had a foreign influence backed by Ammon, which is connected to the Balis, regional power politics. So yeah, this is bigger than just I'm upset that you ran through the land and destroyed it. This was something different, and I bet there was some money involved somewhere. We'll have to dig a little deeper to see how his fate turned out. But anyway, let's keep going. Why were the people afraid? After Gedaliah is killed, Johanan, another military leader, he rescues the captives and confronts Ishmael. Good. But now the situation looks like it takes a turn. They say Babylon will hear, Babylon will retaliate, we'll be blamed, we'll die. So everybody's scared, everybody's panicking. And like it says, the fear makes sense. Babylon is likely going to assume that these people are rebelling. And they weren't. It was just one out of the bunch, right? Spoiling it for everyone. So they had all of this fear. And then they asked Jeremiah, pray for us. We talked about that. We looked at that. And Yah says, pray for us. We'll obey whatever Yah says. We'll obey whatever Yah says. It's like when you get in a pinch. Y'all ever been in a pinch where you're like, it's like something happened and you're like, I'll do it. I'll do anything. I'll do it just to, just solve this issue. Just help me this one time. And I promise I'll never do it again. I'll never. And then, you know what I'm saying? You don't forgot 2 months later that you made that promise. Yah remembers these things. That's why our words are very important. When we grow and we mature in his word, what we actually say does matter to the Most High Yah. And I'm learning every single day that what he says in his word, even if it was years and years and centuries ago, let's do this real quick. I said, I have to do a new check because I want us to stay organized. But look, how long ago was the Tanakh written? The original scrolls that accompanied. And when did the canon close? And when did the New Testament open? And we're going to investigate also the New Testament eventually too. And see how it all ties together. Let's see if we can see how things make sense. With that, we're not going to do obviously that tonight, but eventually we'll get there. But before we even get there, I really want to see what the Most High Yah has to say through his prophets and through the Tanakh. But check this out. All right, so written 1400 BC. Earliest parts, the Torah, 1400, 1200 BC. Later writings, prophetic writings, up to 400 BC. Original scrolls written across the whole period, okay. And then the canon was closed around the same times as the prophetic writings, okay. And then we have the New Testament was written in... That's what I want. The gap between Tanakh completion and the New Testament start, 400. Okay, so this is where I have to push back because I've heard different things and I don't want to go down this rabbit trail. I was trying to make a point. I thought it was, centuries or thousands of years apart from the old and the new. And cite sources. What's the actual number? Not thousands of years. The gap is about 400 to 450 years. Final books written 5th century BC, Common scholarly range for completion. Okay, the Hebrew Bible, a critical companion. Now, I don't want them, and I don't want the Talmud. Introduction to the Hebrew. I don't want them. New Testament beginnings, A.D. The actual gap. Bottom line, Tanakh finished 400 BC. Gap 400 years, about 4 centuries. Okay, that might sound right. We'll have to get back into that another time. But the point is, let's look at what the Most High Yah says. If you have a 400 gap, even if you have a 200-year gap, even if you had a 10-year, even if it was like, oh, well, this was written 10 years prior to what you're reading. Okay, well, that's cool. You can still read that. But I'm going to go read this and get a good understanding of really the foundation of my Father. I want a good understanding of his mind. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, showing you guys my searches and stuff and bringing them to you. But really it's to get a good understanding of the Most High Yah's mind and how he works. Because I want to I love him, right? We all love him. We love the Most High. And that's the reason why we're reading his word, and we want it. That should be our desire, right? Is to get closer to the Most High. And the only way that we're going to be able to get close to him so that his word actually starts to transform our lives and our minds and stuff, and to help us with all of the things that we need help with, and healing and restoration and our confidence and all these other things that are important. It really does start with our relationship with the Most High Abba Yah, right? So, okay, let's keep going. I kind of went down a little thing, but I wanted to see those dates. Okay, so Yah says again, stay in the land. Don't fear the king of Babylon. I'll give you mercy. He'll show you compassion. Boom. This is what I wanted to get at. Do you see? Well, it says it right there, but look, I want to read this. It's a real short. So remember when they were like, pray for it, tell Yah, please. We'll do anything, whatever he says. That's what they was doing. It says, we already seen this, I think last week. I'm looking at 19, you guys. This is chapter 42. 19. Yah spoke, O remnant of Yehuda, do not go to Mitzrayim. What I say, explicit warning. Yah said that. And then it says here, this is what I didn't see the last time we were reading it until I went back. For you deceived yourselves when you sent me to Yah, saying, pray for us, according to all that Yah, your Elohim, says. So declare to us and we shall do it. That's what the people basically said. We will do whatever the Most High says. Go tell him, go pray to Yah. We'll do it. Whatever he says, whatever word he gives, we are down. We're going to do it. We're not going to disobey. That's what they said. And that's not what happened. And So yeah, you guys, it's important that we obey the Most High. The small, the big things that he's telling us, the things that he's revealing to us as we go, because we're always learning and growing, right? No one is arrived anywhere. We're on a constant evaluation. This life is like a constant daily test that can be enjoyable, though. See, there's still joy in doing the right thing, even if it's the hard thing, or even if it goes against your flesh or what you want to do, your desires. There's joy in obedience. They don't sound like they were having a good time even prior to disobeying. And the whole reason why the Most High allowed Nebi to come through was because of disobedience. So it's very important that we listen to the best of our abilities, even when it's so hard. And that's why we have each other, right? That's why we literally have brothers and sisters in the faith. If they're doing their part, if they're in their word to whatever degree, if they're doing their praying, if they're doing their repenting, when they're convicted, are they turning a different way and not going back to that? If people are doing their parts that claim that they're reading this book and they believe in this Elohim, that's what I'm saying. What Elohim do you believe in? That's where we getting at. Like, because if you believe in a different Elohim than what this Elohim is saying, then you may think you can get away with certain things, that things don't really matter. Like kind of what Judah was doing, this little tiny remnant here. They were kind of like, well, if we go, we go. And if we serve, we serve. And if we idol worship, we idol worship. At least we get into it. They didn't think it was that serious. They didn't think it was connected to See, this is the funny thing. Even if you choose, there's other people out here right now, right? Choosing to serve other gods. They don't want nothing to do with no Most High. Yeah, especially this one. They'll deal with maybe the one in the church, okay? Excuse me, the one that you see plastered up all over the place in the world, publicly known, happens to start with the letter J. They don't mind him so much. Some people are on the outside of even that. They say they don't believe in anything, or they choosing to believe in other different mystical things and all of that. Okay. So my point is that even if some of these people have chose and decided to worship other gods, but they belong to the Creator, there ain't nothing you could do about it. If you belong to the Most High, you know how many times I tried to run? Not knowing. This is in my ignorance. I'm trying to run. I don't want this. I want to do my own thing. I want to go make the music out there. I don't want to make the music in here. It's more money out there. It's more fun out there. You can party out there. You can kick it out there. You can do what you want out there. Can't nobody tell you nothing out there, right? That's what we seeing now, though, inside the church. But the funny thing is, I'm not just picking on the church, but there's a problem. There's a serious problem, you guys. And we're going to get into some of the stuff that's going on. It's crazy. I'm almost thinking like, yeah, you know how it's like you could be given over to a delusion because you don't have the love of the truth anymore. It's like your conscience gets seared. Oh, don't let us ever get to that point. How can you prevent your conscience from getting seared by the Most High, that you're not even able to hear and understand his word? How does that happen? That could be a whole nother lesson, but I'll tell you how it won't happen. It won't happen if you stay your behind up in this right here. And not just up in this right here, but when he says something like, that, or when you say something like this, show us, you got to mean it. When he shows it to you, you have to mean it. That doesn't mean you're going to do it perfectly every time, but let your heart posture be one that really wants to obey Yah. And you don't get there overnight. I'll be the first to tell you, you don't get there overnight. You don't get there overnight. It's not like you just wake up and you're just there overnight. No, it's a process, but he knows you. So he knows if you're like, dang, I'm very sorrowful over my sin, Yah. It's not just like, oh, well. It's like, nah, he knows if your heart posture is really like after righteousness and wanting to do what's right. So let's look back at this, and then I want to kind of connect it to a story, a personal story actually. Anyway, I put ouch. Okay, so we unpacked that verse 20. He said, "You deceived yourselves." So they come to Jeremiah, pray, we'll do whatever Yah says. It sounds humble, sounds obedient. Excuse me. But in verse 20, Jeremiah says, you deceived yourselves. So it means that they had already decided. That's what I was getting at earlier. They were not truly seeking guidance. They were seeking validation. I wouldn't say validation. I would say they were more so seeking what do you call that when it's like your last option? It's like, well, I guess I'll call. It's like the guys used to do. Sorry, I have three brothers. They weren't necessarily like this, but I mean, I hope they weren't. I didn't know all their dating relationships and stuff, but I just remember being around guys growing up, and it's like the last option they would call the girl like the last option would be a certain girl. If this first girl wasn't available or this first girl wasn't available, they'd be like, oh, that's kind of what this was. It's like they had already decided that they were not going to obey the Most High if he gave them an instruction that they didn't like. So it's kind of like I'm going, the guy going through his phone, yeah, okay, or she not available. It's kind of like all the other guys ain't helping us right this very second, but we'll do whatever. I'm desperate. We'll do whatever. So, you kind of say those things. Y'all get what I'm saying? Anyway, they had already planned to go to Egypt. We see, I don't agree with exactly that. I don't think they already knew. I just think if they didn't hear what they heard, if they wasn't hearing what they wanted to hear, then they were going to cut out. And so I think that was already predetermined and decided. So they accused Jeremiah of lying and say, Yah did not send you to say, do not go to Egypt. Hold up. Is that right? Where we at, 43? No, they didn't. Is this real? Of course it's real. I'm not shocked, but I'm like, are you serious? And it's not like, are you serious? They did this. It's just like, this is what we're capable of doing. And this is the stuff that we probably have done and don't even know it. So here is Yah, their Elohim, had sent to them. I'm in chapter 43, verses 2. Or 1, I'm sorry. 2 is that Azariah, son of Hoshaiah, and Yohanan, and all the proud men spoke, saying to Jeremiah, poor Jeremiah, you are speaking a lie. This is after he told him. I mean, this is after when he told them what the Most High said. Don't go. They said, Yahuwah, our Elohim, has not sent you to say, do not go to Mitzrayim to sojourn there. So they literally told the Most High's prophet the word that came out of Jeremiah's mouth. They literally told him after they begged, go pray to him, please pray to him. We'll do anything, whatever he say. And then he say, okay, well, he say, stay here, stay put. They said, no, that's not what we wanted to hear. He didn't say that. You lying. Really? So again, they already had planned in their heart that if they didn't hear what they wanted to hear, which was go sojourn in Egypt, I'll protect you there. They wanted to get out of there. They didn't want to be under Babylonian rule, but they didn't hear what they wanted to hear. And so they try to accuse Jeremiah of lying. Okay, so let's go back to finish this up. Are you guys getting this? Are you seeing how all of this is kind of tying together? This story is fascinating. This is a very interesting story of Jeremiah that I'm just now really getting into. Okay, so yeah, so they accuse him of lying. They asked for divine direction. They promised obedience, but intentionally intended to disobey if they didn't like the answer. Just literally said that. Self-deception is what that is. Okay, so what is self-deception here? It's not that Jeremiah tricked them. They tricked themselves. They convinced themselves that they were, they tricked themselves that they were open to obedience. but only if the answer aligned with their fear-driven plan. They were afraid of Babylon. They wanted Egypt. They wanted security. So when Yah said stay, they said no. Why this is so strong? This is deeper than fear. It's internal defiance disguised as spiritual humility. This is internal defiance disguised as spiritual humility. Wow. They use spiritual language. Pray for us. We will obey. Show us the way. That's why we can't get tricked, y'all. We can't get tricked when folks are seemingly with this word and in a position and are using it with all of the things that we have heard and we understand. Again, they sound like maybe me and you. They talk the talk, if you will. They walk the walk, but their hearts are not in the posture of obedience. And a good way of knowing, it's like, well, how do I know? It's so much deception out here. Yeah. Like I say, even the elect could get deceived in the end times. How do you know, though? How do you know if they pray, if they know the scripture, if they fast, if they proclaim, if they declare, if they prophesy, if it looks like they're prospering, and all of these things that can be mesmerizing, if you will. Like it looks like they're anointed and they have the Spirit. It looks like they're a man, a woman of Yah. It feels like it. It sounds like it, but it might not be. How do we know? How are we going to be able to tell so that we're not deceived? Well, there's what's coming to my mind is you will know them by their fruits. What kind of fruit are they bearing? One of the biggest fruits to look for is humility. Is it all about them or is it all about Yah? That doesn't mean hide yourself under a rock. He gave you beauty. He gave you strength. He gave you talent. He gave you gifts. Some people have all kind of different things. And it could be a physical beauty. It could be a man's strength. It could be all kind of things. Yah's good. He's literally imparted all types of gifts and talents and abilities and features and stuff on his people, on his children. So he wouldn't have done that if he wanted us to hide everything, right? So it's a way that you stay humble with everything that he has given. So that is one way to look. If a person is able to preach down the house, but they have no humility. If a person is wildly popular and they have a whole lot of money and a huge following, and maybe the ministry looks like it's just growing and he's just flooding in and everything like that, that does not necessarily mean that that is a true man or woman of Yah who is aligned with the word if there's no humility there. And then look what we said. Well, look what it said over here. Disguised as spiritual humility. So there's that too. There's a such thing as like what did I put in here? I think I put fake obedience. Oh, fake faithfulness. I put that in my scriptures here. See, real quick, you guys. Like when I was looking at where was it? Yeah, it says you deceived yourselves, and when I went to Yah and he told me to tell y'all, declare to us and we shall do. I mean, when they said, declare to us and we'll do it, Jeremiah, we'll do it. We'll do whatever Yah says. Well, that was fake faithfulness. So there's such thing as a fake spiritual humility. It's like pride disguised as humility, just like their fake faithfulness. They were only faithful. They were only going to be faithful if the word that they got was what they wanted. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. We're not the creator. We don't make these rules. We're supposed to try to see how can I, get this flesh and this mind transformed enough to where I can be in submissive, willing, yielded position to what Yah is telling me. And it's not so that we can be robots. Oh, well, just do what he says. I'm so scared. I'm just going to do what he says. It's not a fear thing. It's, have we got into, Yah put our hearts in a place where we get to where we doing this because we love you. We love you. You're a good, awesome creator, and you know what's best for who you created. It's like I wrote a song. I wrote a beautiful song. I wrote this song, and this song is meant to help hearts heal from, maybe hurt and pain and breakup in relationships or different things, maybe some trauma that has happened. And I write this song, and I give it to a singer to sing. And it's supposed to be sung over, I don't know, violins and all these different stringed instruments, no drums, just real beautiful and peaceful and slow. And that singer takes this song that's supposed to be able to help people heal and get to these, get to that conclusion. And the person ends up, putting some trap beats to it, and it's like, that's not what it was intended for. You may want to ask the writer what that song arrangement and the concept and what they had in mind. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's why we're digging in the creator's mind when we go into his word. We're trying to see what he actually thinks, what his ideas are for his creation, because it's almost like, well, the creation is trying to tell the Most High, like, no, I know better. You know how we can get as human beings in this flesh, where we think we know better sometimes. And then how does that work out? It doesn't work out all that well. And then we end up running back to Yah, and Yah says, see, I told you. I told you not to do X, Y, Z, or I told you to do X, Y, Z. So we live a more of a joyful life when we're in alignment, even when it's tough, even when we have to have the hard conversations with ourselves. Did you hear what I said? With ourselves. Okay? Not with anybody else, with ourselves, and keep it real so that we're not being deceived, or we're not being, having false faithfulness or false spiritual humility. We don't want none of that. Praying and can fast and we can do all of these things, but it's dependent on the Most High taking care of us still. But what happens? He always take care of us. Don't get that twisted. But what happens when you go through a rough patch? What happens when it look like a drought, or it feels like you're, could be the loneliness. It could be waiting on different things. It could be betrayal. You know what I'm saying? People you thought you were going to be close to for the rest of your life. Like, man, hello. You know what I'm saying? It could be family situation. It could be all these things. And you're like, yeah, what you feel like you've been abandoned. You feel like what's going on. You can't quite figure it out. And is that the time to be like, I'm cutting out? Well, I'm just going to serve some other idols. I remember what that was like. At least I could X, Y, Z, boom, boom, boom. At least I could have some fun back yonder way. It's like, no. For one, like I mentioned earlier, you guys, is when the Most High Yah creates you, he has a plan for you. He has a blueprint. He has some instructions for you. And the more you align with that, no matter how tough it is to get there, the more you align with that, that's what I'm doing right now, is aligning more myself with what his mind says, not what I think, what his mind says. And then I'm going, okay, Yah, help me transform my mind. The stuff that still ain't transformed, help me transform that so it's more in alignment with your word. Because when it is, I'm more joyful. When it is, I have more confidence. When it is, I have more shalom. When it is, I make better decisions. When it is, I take care of things that I don't want to take care of, but I do because I know that I'm supposed to do it. I know that I'm going to be better off for it. All of that stuff starts to, it's like you become, he renews you. He's renewing you as you're in the word. He's literally renewing your mind. And we could be looking at Jeremiah. We could be looking at what seemingly seems unrelated. Okay. Y'all, I'm trying to tell you this word. It's like I'm fired up about learning Even if it seems unrelated to what you're living right now, it's still related. And it'll still come back to you when you need it. He'll still reveal things and extract things out of it that seem like, well, we're talking about that, and I'm going through this. You just hold on a minute. You just hold on. You hold on to his hand. You keep holding on to him. You keep reading wherever he has you, led to read. You ask him, Abba Yah, where am I supposed to be in this book? And if he has you here, cool. Follow along with what we doing over here, and still ask the question, because he could have you here, and on a what's tonight, Friday, on a Friday, and shoot, by Monday he could have you somewhere else, speaking directly to your heart, because it's individual. That's the thing. It's like we're not getting, like in a relationship, most people are like, I can't wait to find somebody so that then, as if, have you heard that? Like, you'll get completed a little bit. When you find somebody, it's like, okay, now I'm complete. Like that was that person that just kind of complete. No, you're supposed to be two people complete coming together so that it'll last and it'll work out. You both supposed to already be filled up with joy. You both supposed to already have that shalom that you're bringing to the table. You're both supposed to have that confidence so that you're not looking at him to give you compliments every 3 minutes or affirm you for everything. Y'all get what I'm saying? It's supposed to be like that when you come together. Well, I look at the Most High the same way. The reason I believe, and this is just one person's opinion, that there is so much deception out there that people are falling for seemingly willingly, is because they have not filled up and fallen in love with the Most High Yah's relationship individually. Like they haven't got to a place to where if they didn't see anybody else teaching, if they didn't see anybody else shouting down the house, singing, praising, doing all of those things, if they didn't see any of that, they was doing that on their own. They praising and shouting with the Most High Yah on their own. I mean, and however you do that, some people don't shout, some people are a little more quiet, whatever. However you do it, however your relationship is one-on-one, that thing right there is like the first thing that you get. It's like self-love, self-care. And then when you get with somebody, they should already be doing that too. You should be doing that too. So it's kind of like when you do get in front of somebody who is, presenting, preaching, whether it's a pastor or moray, any of these people, you're not looking for them to be your Most High, is what I'm trying to say. You're not looking for them to be replacing the creator in your life. You're not so dependent on their word because you already got a word. He didn't already gave you your word. You're already eating on your own. You eating your own word that he's given you. It's a personal thing. This is so that's and the beauty of having a personal relationship with the creator when you're digging in his word and he's feeding you his word, and the spirit is giving you revelation to all of these things, and you're learning and you're growing and you're transforming, and more things are falling off of you, the old ways and the old thoughts and the old habits and the old, you know what I mean? The beautiful thing about that is when you get with people who are doing the same thing, that is the beautiful anointing that you can see in each other. That's where it's like, man, cheering each other on. That's it's beautiful. That's where you can do so many more things because there are more people in alignment versus how people say, oh, everybody. Okay, so I don't want to get down that too much, but I think you guys can kind of understand what I'm saying. If you do, let me know. Let me know in the chat. Y'all can always say what you're thinking. I see that you're here with me. I see the chat down there. I see y'all here with me. Tell me what you guys are thinking. Always feel free to tell me what's on your mind. There's a little bit of a little lint thing that just floated by there. Tell me what's on your mind too. I love hearing from you. I really do. I love hearing to see like what's landing with you. Some things be deep, but that's why you here. That's why you here, right? I don't just make these songs. That's why you guys are here. The Most High knows your heart. The Most High knows that, one of the saddest thing I saw, not saddest, but one sad thing that I saw, it was in a comment, and it was on some foolishness that was going on. I don't know, stuff be coming up in my feed. You watch one video, and then you just get hit with a whole bunch of stuff. But somebody in the comments said they came for it's sad when people come from for the word and they're getting fed like entertainment or something like that. In other words, she's saying that people are out here hungry for the true living word of the Most High. They really want to fix their lives. They want to change their minds. They want their families restored. I know I do. It's a lot of things that, and you can't force, obviously, your family to believe the things that you believe and you think that would really radically change their lives and bring hope and love and joy and shalom to their situations. You can't force anybody to believe that, but when people are literally satisfied with just being entertained and they don't want the word, that's a hard pill to swallow. I'm just glad it's not us. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that like that. I'm going to say that. I'm glad the Most High talks to us still. And I'm glad that we listen. And when he also chastises us, corrects us in love, we don't say, that's not what, I didn't hear that. That's not what I heard. We don't want to be like that. So let me tell you let's finish with, let's finish this up real quick. I'm looking at the time too. Let's finish this up and then I'm going to share a personal story with you guys. I always keep it real, keep it 100, keep it transparent. I ain't got nothing to hide, man. Y'all done did so much in my life. He the only one that I care about in terms of an opinion. I'm just gonna be real with you. We all go through those different things, like what would people think? I got past that. When you turn 50, it's like I really hope you're not still thinking that. Don't think that when you're 50. Like or now you could be 25 watching right now. You could be 25. You could be 25, 30. Only concern yourself with what Yah thinks about you, because really you'll get there. If you are young and you watching, you'll get there. You'll understand that voice is the only voice that truly matters. It's so true. You'll discover that. You'll understand that, and you're the only you. You're the only you. There's nobody else but you. Cultivating this relationship with him, doing what he's asking you to do. And, on this planet for a specific purpose, there's only one you. You don't want to be like nobody else. Don't care what anybody else is saying, in the sense of not like, if somebody's coming to you and they're mentoring you or they're sharing some guidance and stuff. I'm not saying that, but y'all get what I'm saying. Like, let Yah be the final voice. All right, so the big spiritual pattern, self-deception, often looks like, I just want clarity. I'm open to whatever Yah says. I'll obey as long as it doesn't cost me, as long as I don't lose comfort, as long as I feel safe. That's exactly what Judah was doing. And that ties, to my Starbucks thing, which we're going to get into right now. Okay, so y'all know I love Starbucks, right? And how are you guys doing? Let me take a second, drink some water, see how y'all doing. I gotta remember. See how the family is doing. How y'all doing? Y'all good? Any thoughts? And then I'll get into this Starbucks story. Y'all know I love Starbucks. But yeah, y'all was talking to me, you guys. Let's see what Sis Eugenia says. It's all the truth. You are speaking. Hallelujah. Praise the Most High. Good eating tonight. Hallelujah. Good. Praise the Most High. Hallelujah. So yeah, I'm going to tell y'all what the Most High put on my heart, because and I have some notes over here. So if you see me looking over there, that's what I'm looking at, because I don't want to forget anything. This is powerful. So this story that I'm going to share with you is how subtle allegiance can be, and the time when the conviction kicks in. So just think of it this way. We're talking about they're serving other gods, other idols. Ooh, Judah, they bad. They in trouble. They disobeying. They this, that, and the third. Like, we're not judging them. And thank you, sweet Nicole, for that super chat. I appreciate you, sis. Praise Yah. That's a generous donation. I really do appreciate that. So we could look at them and say, bad Judah, right? They didn't listen. But the story I'm about to share with you, and the reason I'm sharing it, is to show you how subtle an allegiance to other gods can be. They were just outright with it, but are there subtle ways that we can be aligned with other deities that the Most High Yah ain't fooling with? Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna kind of lean back for this. Okay, so y'all know I love Starbucks. Apparently, it's a treat. You guys see me go there usually even, 2 days. Sunday, we do our coffee convo and connection. If you guys don't know about that, it is not tomorrow, Sunday at 10 a.m. Last Sunday of every month, I just do a recap of the month. It's a lot lighter. We're not studying and stuff like that, just kind of kicking it, right? And I'll have my coffee and just share with you guys about the music and what's coming and just what the Most High Yah is doing, enjoying the days, enjoying y'all's company, things of that nature. So anyway, I usually go to Starbucks for that. It's a treat. I like to sit there. The Wi-Fi is cool. My drinks is good. The baristas know me. Comfort. It's a routine, right? But over time, I started feeling a little bit, what's the word? Eerie. Looking at the logo, okay? And I started covering literally the faces of the logos with the stickers, because they always put a sticker on everything on the side. The label is what I'm saying. And so I would, when I get home, if I still was drinking it or whatever, I get home, put it on the counter. And I'll be, come in the kitchen and say the cup still be on the counter or whatever, because there's still something in there or I haven't thrown it away just yet. And when I was looking at the logo, I was like, I just don't, it's giving me a vibe. So this is recently, probably maybe 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, something like that. Anyway, I started for the last couple of weeks, I was putting labels. And my mom's like, why? I'm explaining to my mom, like, I don't know. I just, yeah. Because I get their best water ever. That's why you always, now I do have I have somebody else's water, Dutch Brothers water, but their water is just crisp. It's just crisp. I love their waters. I usually get 2 waters, to my 1 drink. Anyway, so I started covering the faces. And has anybody else had that like nagging feeling when you didn't quite know, you weren't there yet to know why, but it was like something was giving you like a little bit of a vibe, and you're like, I wonder what that's about. Y'all let me know. But the straw that broke the camel's back is when I looked down at the napkin. So I'm eating a sandwich. I think I had could have been the Impossible breakfast sandwich, or it was maybe like the banana bread, something like that. But I looked down at the napkin, and there, I was thinking, should I run in the kitchen and get it? Because I actually still have a couple of their napkins in the drawer. But my mind is all over the place, because I want to really tell you that if you go to any place, like where you're getting coffee or something, I need a couple of packs of honey. I need some straws. I need some extra napkins. You call me ghetto if you want to, but I need it all. Because if I'm paying you X amount of dollars for this right here, I need some extra stuff. I'm just saying. It does come a long way when you need a napkin. Boom. Hey, you need some honey? Okay. You need this? You need that? I'm just saying. That's just me. Anyway. Okay, so back on track. I look down at the napkin. The napkin has all kind of different things on it, like, I don't know, drinks. It has all this text on there of what they have, right? It's making me want to go in there. I'm not going to show it to you, but just trust me. It has all of this like text on there. Well, when I looked down, what I saw, this is recent. What I saw was witch. What I saw was WICH. But what I saw in my mind was WITCH when I saw that. And I moved my because I was looking down, and I moved you can't see down there, but I moved my sandwich so I could see the napkin. And of course it said sandwiches. And so I'm like, okay, look, what's going on, y'all? Because I'm, okay. that was the last straw for me. I had to make a decision to keep going or cut it off. I'm thinking to myself, there are plenty of other coffee shops out there that, in Portland that don't have, that ain't giving me this feeling. And so what I started doing is researching the logo. Okay. And I didn't know what a siren was before doing some digging. But I wanted to understand why it felt off when I looked at it, why the design. I found out that it was a siren. We'll talk about that, what it is briefly. But I wanted to know why that logo was bothering me and why I was being nagged at. The ruach is when you're being nagged at, it's the ruach. And you may not know exactly what it is yet, but he'll show you. As you dig, you could suppress the nagging and say, whatever, I'm just going to keep going. Or you can dig, and that's what I did. So what I discovered is very interesting. So the earliest known written references to sirens appear in the ancient Greek literature, most famously in the Odyssey by Homer. It's a book called Odyssey. It's not really a book. It's like volumes or something like that. And in the story, the hero, Odysseus, I could be pronouncing that wrong, encounters sirens. Now, keep in mind, sirens look like that logo. They look like mermaids, if you will. So Odysseus, the guy in the book, encounters sirens whose singing is so irresistible that sailors crash their ships trying to reach them. Some people even say sailors jumped overboard to their death because of the sirens' allure. So they're very sexual and they're very sensual, and they have this singing, this singing that is luring them in. And Odysseus plugs his crew's ears, this is in the book, with wax and has himself tied to the mast, so he can hear the song without steering into danger. And I want to stop there too, because at first I was like, okay, I'm glad I made that decision. Something was wrong with the logo. Now I know this is a siren, mermaid, whatever you want to call it. It ain't good. And I found the earliest recollection of this particular siren is in a book that happens to be where people are crashing their boats, jumping into the waters to get to these sirens because they're being distracted and lured away by this singing. But I was like, why did Odysseus plug his crew's ear, but he still got to hear the singing? And he tied himself to the mast. So he's tied to the boat, if you will, or the ship. He's tied down so that he doesn't go, but his ears is unplugged, so he's still listening. So I'm like, okay, well, what kind of singing were they doing? I'm just saying, what kind of singing and what language was it in? So I'm asking all these questions. And so what I found out is that the sirens were deceptive, promising knowledge, secrets, and irresistible insight, but it led to destruction. So the character, this Odysseus, wanted to get the knowledge. He wanted the temptation. He didn't want the destruction that would follow. So that's why he tied himself. I thought that's interesting too, that you can know what's bad for you and still want it, but set up provision so that you can still engage with that temptation. Is that interesting? This is what humans do. So when I looked at that, I said, wow, this is why we need the Yah to guide us. This is why we need Yah to guide us. This is why we need the Ruach to be in us. This is why we have to have daily time with Yah. This is why he has to become our love. If he's not our love now, our prayer should be a sincere prayer that they weren't sincere. We beg you, let Yah show us the way in which we should walk, in the word we should do. Sincerely, our prayer, right? Because it's possible to literally set yourself up to indulge, if you will, in the temptation and have kind of a way of escape that doesn't lead you to your destruction, but you're being deceived nonetheless. It's just crazy. Anyway, so over time, the logo, talk about Starbucks' logo. The Starbucks logo originally, I didn't know this. I'm finding this out. Originally was a naked mermaid, okay, with two tails. And I dug into those tails too, and I found that some say they were serpents. But they're, when you start to research and dig and you find a lot of stuff, but still too close for me. Seems designed to draw people in. That was their original intent. They weren't hiding it. It was all, that was their logo for years. And they were much like the sirens, these mermaids. And over time, the logo was made semi-modest. So they started kind of covering her up a little bit. Yet the symbol of seduction and temptation remained. So they still had her there. Now they've covered, it used to have the Starbucks over the whole circle, their name. And she was still there, obviously covered. But now you can't even see where her breasts are. It's literally like they don't show that at all. So over the years, they scaled it back, but it's still her. It's still a siren. That's the history. That's her. That's their foundation. And so knowing that sirens are never associated with anything good, they lure, they tempt. No wonder people are literally, addicted. I, being one of those people, were just going out of habit, going out of routine. Like I said, there are different things that I liked about it. But how deception creeps in, what seems harmless in our lives, like if we just really start to think about that, like what does seem harmless in our life that maybe it's not connected to a siren, but it could be leading us to slower destruction, if you will. Just something to think about. Temptation creeps in quietly and through comfort, familiarity, routine, convenience, emotional attachment. Sometimes it doesn't look like straight up like what Judah did, just rebellion all out, like we won't. We going anyway. Like they got to a place where they were kind of they were defiant. We talked about that. They doubled down on their rebellion. It doesn't have to look like that, but just like Egypt felt safe for that remnant of Judah, Starbucks was convenient for me. See? It's a parallel. I'm not reading this. This is why I love Yah. He's like, yeah, you reading this couple of weeks. You've been reading this. You've been in this. I told you to do these live streams. You in these scriptures and you're sharing and all of that. But you don't know just 3 weeks from now, I'm finna show you something over here that directly ties with this. Are you going to listen? You see how good Yah is? And you say, well, that's not, it's like, are you going to serve another spirit? If I reveal this to you, are you still going to serve another spirit? That's what Yah was basically laying on the table. I showed you this. I gave you a feeling of that. And so I'm leading you to a conclusion I want you to make. You have the choice. I'm not making the choice for you. I'm not even really giving you an ultimatum. I'm just showing you the cards are on the table. What are you playing? What's your next move? And so I'm like, dang, okay. Eerie feeling when I look at the logo. Look down, I'm seeing, the napkin situation, and I'm going, that was it for me. And so I looked up the siren. And then, and here's the thing. I had a video, you guys, that I was going to play. And I want to tell you guys something, too, before I close this out, about the heart issue and the moment of my conviction and all of that. But I had a video that I was going to play. I was going to show you as I was doing my research, I ran into some videos. They're all online. Of course, you can YouTube Starbucks logo and blah, 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 blah. Let me share with you. Okay, you're grown. You're going to do what you want to do. But let me just share with you that I highly encourage you not to look at the sirens. I highly encourage you not to look up the logo and these mermaids and all of that. And the reason why is because the video that I was going to play, I said, this is perfect. This is really giving you the history of these sirens, and it'll break it down, and we can, kind of break up the live stream a little bit and really dive into that and how it goes with serving other spirits, if you will, just in a different way. Very subtle, but same thing to Yah. And when I watched it, I said, nah, I am not showing that. I'm not showing that. And the reason why is because there's a part in there that we have to protect our eye gates. I was able to see because Yah needed me to see the seriousness of it. And I seen it and I saw it and I said, okay, that's enough. That's enough. Got it. I got it. Clear. Okay. But and I was like, dang, I want to share it. But I said, I don't want them to see that. I don't want them to see that. I don't want you guys to see that. So just, you're, like I said, you're grown and everything like that. You're going to do what you want to do. But it's kind of like you have to protect your eye gates. You got to protect your ear gates. Everybody's at different levels. I remember this is years ago, probably when I was first coming into the truth. And I remember somebody was doing like a deep dive on the deception of something or another. And it was so, in my humble opinion, some of those things were so inappropriate for my spirit at the time. Everybody's at different places in their walks with the Most High. Some things that you might say, oh man, you know what I'm saying? That don't bother me. That could cause somebody to stumble. That could cause somebody to, different things, spirits, and you know what I'm saying? No, I'm not going to be responsible for that. So I told you not to look. And that's on you. But please don't look it up, because some of these AI generated videos that try to share with you what it is, they over exaggerate. And I just want you guys' minds to be at perfect peace, and in shalom. So, it's kind of like Adam and Eve in the beginning. They were so curious to know. And that curiosity got them in trouble. So I just say that because I care, really. But anyway, so the moment for me was all of the things that I discussed that made me decide that I can't do that. Yah is telling me something to obey, and I'm sitting here reading right here in these scriptures, right? This is what we've been doing the last couple of weeks with Jeremiah. So I have a choice to obey the Spirit, the Ruach. And so I did. And, you can have the fear of missing comfort or the routine and all of that, but it doesn't outweigh the joy that I have knowing that I'm aligned with the Most High. Can't nothing beat that joy when you do obey, when you say, okay, all right, you know what I mean? You listen, that gives you peace. When you're kind of in the middle of it, you feel that tension, you feel that uneasiness, you don't quite know what's going on. And then when it's revealed to you, you have a decision to make. And that's when you just go on and make that decision. Don't delay it. Don't delay it. It doesn't get better. It doesn't get better. It only gets worse. And so you want to have the Most High Yah's favor upon your life. You want to have your obedient posture at the foot of his throne, where he's smiling when he's looking down at you. Man, you know what I'm saying? So check this out, though. Now, here's where it gets good, because I was like, okay, we're talking about judgment, because I know how some folk get. They learn one thing, and now anybody that goes through a Starbucks drive-through, I'm in the drive-through. I'm like, I got red flags out. I'm in the cold. I don't care. I got to warn people. I got to tell them about the sirens. They go crazy. We done seen it in our lives. Listen, we're not overseers of somebody else's spirit. We can share, we can plant the seed, we can live out our example. And then also, let me just say this too. It's not that we don't expose the works of darkness or people who are, falsely leading people astray. Some people have that ministry. I feel like sometimes I want to say more than what I do, and y'all's working on me with that too. Just calling out things that are just not right, and it takes courage to do that. But I'm not going to be using mine. I'm going to be using his, and it's not to judge. This is what I want to say about this whole thing that I'm sharing with you. It's not to judge. It's because of the seriousness of the Most High. It's like Jeremiah. You really think he wanted to do all of that? These are his people. And we didn't even read previous chapters. He remember I said he went with the governor? He had a choice. When Nebuchadnezzar and them came through and ruined Jerusalem, and they found him at the court of the guard, and they captured him, if you will, but he still had favor with Nebuchadnezzar. You'll read. He had a choice. Nebuchadnezzar said he even knew. He said, why the Most High Yah done did this to you. He even had got the word. But he said, look, I'm going to let you go. It says it. I'm going to loose you from these chains, and you got a couple of places that you can go. He said, you can come with me. He gave him another place. Where was he? Where was it, y'all? Hold up. Let me try to find this real quick. Yeah, it's right here. Check this out. Check this out, you guys. So he said, this is Jeremiah 40. So this is, okay, so Nebuchadnezzar, this is one of his people under him. Nebuzaradan, chief of the guard. So think of him as like, I don't know, officer or something like that under Nebuchadnezzar. So he lets Jeremiah go, okay? And he lets him go among all the exiles from Jerusalem and Yehuda who were there, okay? So this little remnant. And the chief of the guard says, Yah has spoken this evil on this place, and Yah has brought this on. So the guy knows what's going on. He said, because you have sinned against Yah and did not obey his voice. This is an outsider telling him. And Jeremiah knows, but he's like saying, like, he even knows. That's interesting too, that even people who don't believe in the Most High Yah, that see our condition in this world, they understand it's because of our disobedience. Do we understand? No, not clear enough. Not enough of us, right? That's why we're here. So anyway, he says, okay, Jeremiah, I'm going to loosen you today from these chains that were on your hand. And if it seems good, you can come with me to Babel, and I'll look after you. But if it seems wrong for you to come with me to Babel, remain here. See, all the land is before you. Go. He's like, go wherever that seems right for you to go. But, you're free to go. And before he replied, before Jeremiah could say, oh, well, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, I'm going to stay here, it says that Nebuzaradan said, or go back to Gedaliah, the governor, whom the sovereign Nebuchadnezzar of Babel has made governor over the cities of Yehuda, and dwell with them among the people. Or go wherever it seems right for you to go. He like you just wherever you want to go, man, just go. And the chief of the guard gave him provisions and a gift and let him go. So Jeremiah went with the governor. So yeah. Okay. I have no idea where we were going with that. But it means something to somebody out there, gosh darn it. Yah will bring it back to my remembrance. I was trying to make a point. You're not the overseer of someone else's transformation. Yah's spirit is. The judgment, that's what I was actually originally talking about. Something led me there, though. If you guys know, you can put it in the chat. You know how we be taking them turns, boy. So listen, I'm not going to be in Starbucks drive-through saying, please, the sirens are going to get you if you drink the coffee. Some people don't know. Some people don't feel convicted. That's not my job. My job is to share my testimony, to share my own personal experience. And if I want to, this is how it ties back. If I feel led to, or Yah puts on my heart to uncover the works of darkness that are out there in the deception, then I will do that. But it's because I love righteousness. I love the Most High Yah, and it pains me to see people turning away. Some people are doing it willingly. There's nothing you can do about it. Like we talked about, consciences get seared after a certain time. You want that work, you go get that work. You want the deception, you go live in the deception. You want the evil, you want that life, go get it. Go do it. At some point, that's what the Most High Yah does. Is unfortunate, but that's what happens if you stop. If you continue to resist His word, he can't force you to love Him. He can't force us to obey Him. So, but Jeremiah, how I was trying to tie it in is that did he really want to have to do what he had to do? Probably not, but he did it. Right? Somebody had to do it. Not everybody's called to do it, but some folk have to do it. And it's because he loved the Most High. Obviously, he revered the Most High, obviously. And he knows, he has experience of what Yah said and then what Yah does when he says he gonna do it. He had first eye account, a witness to the Most High Yah's word being verified and true. So he didn't want none of that smoke. He knew that Yah would come through on his word. So he was like, look, even if I don't really feel like doing it or saying it, I'm doing it, I'm saying it. So some people don't know, some people don't feel convicted. So we can't go out there trying to police everybody just because we found something that convicted us or we believe something. Yeah, share it. Hey, your own testimony, your own story. Can't nobody refute that. That's what happened to you. That's your story. But I'm not going to go and beat other people up if I see them, drinking Starbucks and stuff. So I have some notes here. Don't try to make yourself law enforcement over people's walks. We see that all too often where people get excited about something or they come into an understanding. And now anybody who does not do that understanding are condemned, they're judged, they're pointed out. And it's like, why are you going? It's like when others aren't receptive, they immediately get judged. So it's kind of like if you don't hear what I just said, didn't you just hear what I said? That's wrong, or that's this, or that's that. You didn't know about that. It's like you start trying to pile on. That's not your job. Please let the Ruach do the Ruach's job in that person's life. Pray for that person. If you feel led, you can point it out. Start a YouTube channel. Start pointing out the different things that the Most High Yah has done in your life. Write a book. Put it in a song. Paint it out, whatever you have to do to get it out of what he did for you. It's not about like, oh, now I'm going to make a whole campaign to beat people over the head with what I learned and judge them because they're still drinking Starbucks or going through the drive-through or going in there or whatever. No, that's not how this works. That's why there's so much church hurt, if you will, or so much hurt in general when it comes to the Most High Yah. Because people have taken the Ruach's place and they have gone so far to say, well, I'm going to be the Ruach in that person's life and I'm going to judge them and convict them. And it's like you're not even sharing your own testimony. How about we start there? And because when you start to share your own testimony, guess what happens? Humility happens because you have to start opening up about your own self, about what Yah done told you to do and what not to do, when you obeyed and when you did not obey. So let's start there first. So I just want to throw that out there, for those who like to pile on and point out more on somebody else. It's kind of like, go ahead and take a look in the mirror, and you'll probably have a lot to look at. Y'all get what I'm saying? So anyway, when others aren't receptive, we talked about that. They'll end up judging and condemning. That's pride disguised as Yah, as doing Yah's work. So because it's kind of like, well, I arrived and I knew that and I know that, but they don't know that. So I'm going to go tell them that. Like I said, do it in a way that Yah leads you to do it. Do it in a way that Yah leads you to do it. Don't just blow up on somebody's comment and say, did you know that you're not supposed to XYZ? Or didn't you know that? That's not Yah. That's not Yah's spirit. Whose spirit are you in when you do that, please? That sounds like pride to me. I don't know. Don't sound like humility. Doesn't sound like kindness. You know what I mean? It could be a hard word, but you can deliver that hard. You could deliver that hard word with, what is it? Like solution based. Like when Jeremiah was talking to, when the remnant was begging Jeremiah, beg him, please pray. But what did he say? He wasn't like, he just said, okay, I'm gonna plead your case. I'm gonna go. It's like you have to have, even though he was giving a strong word, he still had compassion. So like I said, some folks don't know. Some people are on different places in their journey and their walks. So if you feel so compelled about it though, start a channel, write a book, put it in a song, do a drawing, do a painting, do something, right? You know what I mean? Y'all get what I'm saying? There's constructive ways that you can get it out if you're that passionate about it. But just piling on and judging people for conclusions that they have not come to just yet, that's not how you do it. It leads to internal misery for that person. And that's why a lot of these people that judge harshly, hardcore, they be banging on people and stuff like that. They're miserable on the inside. They're miserable on the inside. And we want to be filled with Yah's joy. So real transformation comes from the spirit. We're vehicles, not enforcers. We're not policing people. And so I'll close. Is this the last? Yeah, we're closing up here, you guys. Their justification versus our justification. So the remnant in Judah, when we worshiped the Queen of Heaven, we didn't lack. We had everything we wanted, they said. The modern parallel is, for me, it's just a treat. You know what I'm saying? Literally, I'm not thinking that hard, like sirens and jumping out of ships to their destruction. I didn't even know there's whole catalogs, like whole volume books that were written about, this particular situation. And of course, there's other things in that book. But that was a big part of him, his journey. He was trying to get back home. And he was met with a series of different things. But the sirens were one that came. And the fact that they sang, that just really just turned me all the way off. I'm like, oh, no. Because the enemy can use singing to lure you. And that's why you have to protect your ear and eye gates. That's another reason why I didn't want you guys to watch any of those videos that they have out there. And so both cases were attachment to provision and routine and comfort, but the relationship with the Creator won out strong. I'm rolling with the Most High Abba Yah till the wheels fall off. He tells me to do something. I'm trying to be obedient quickly. It doesn't happen all the time. But I can pat myself on the back when it does happen, when I do listen, and you can do the same thing. You can pat yourself. You got to celebrate yourself way more often than you do. It's not a one-time thing when you do something right. In the Most High's eyes, it's when you do something right, you celebrate yourself often because that builds your confidence in you walking in righteousness. So you can pat yourself on the back if you haven't already for the things that you've done, that the Most High Yah is proud of you, that you have done. The right things that you have done. Don't just beat yourself up for the things that you have not done right. Pat yourself on the back and celebrate yourself for the things that you are doing right in the Most High Yah's eyes. And so it can feel like you're being picked out constantly. That's how, sometimes you feel like that. Like, dang, man, why do I always got to get here? And, y'all telling me can't go this now. I can't go there and I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, why me all the time? You might feel picked out, or that you're constantly being corrected. not by somebody else. If that's the case, it's like, okay, wait a minute. Are you trying to play the ruach in my life now? But, reframe that. Try to reframe it. And I'm reframing it as you're being picked out to stand out. Okay? He picking, feels like you're being picked on, but he picking you out to stand out, to shine your light, right? Think of it that way. Try to reframe it that way. And then another thing I put down, I love this. The correction is a blessing. And the reason I say that is because it's a sign that Yah has his eyes on you. I talked about that earlier, but that made me actually feel pretty good because I was like, okay, if he's talking to me, that's a good thing. I can hear him, right? Some folk can't hear the Most High. I can't hear him. Oh no, you don't talk. Nah, man, it's like, hey, even if he's saying something like, and how you guys, I'm telling you, the word and through your own quieting of your mind in prayer and worship, those are 3 great ways to hear the Most High Yah speak to your spirit, but and to help you with different decisions as well. But I was like, at least he's talking to me. So if he's correcting you, that's a good thing. That's a great thing. If he's talking to you and he's correct. So talking is cool, right? Talking is cool, but correction is a blessing. Correction to me seems even better because it's like he wants you to steer. He's giving you an opportunity to continue to steer on the righteous path. Ooh, that's good. Ooh, does that mean I'm aligned? Does that mean we're aligned for his eternal kingdom? Come on, y'all. Talk to me. Keep telling me. Keep telling me. That's what I'm saying. Shoot. People in the church rolling on the floor, looking like they demon possessed up in there. Is he talking to them? Is he talking to them? I'm just asking. It don't look like it to me. You want Yah to be talking to you, correcting you. It's a blessing, trust me. So, the remnant said we didn't lack, but they lost something greater. The Creator was protecting them. He had plans to keep them in that land and all of that. Said he was going to plant them, all of the good things. And they forfeited it all because they got afraid. Then they tried to do some trick stuff with, we'll do this, but then they really wasn't going to do it. It was just a mess. And they preferred the visible, comforting things, familiar things, Egypt, idol worship, getting the little trinkets. They preferred that over the covenant relationship with the Most High. I want the covenant. Do y'all want the covenant? Y'all put yes if you want the covenant. If you want the covenant relationship with the Most High, y'all, please put yes, covenant. Yes, covenant. You want the closeness. You want the covenant. You want that thing that doesn't break. That's what we want. So basically, just to kind of recap everything as we're closing, when conviction comes, it's an invitation. Not to police folk, right? Not to judge others. And there's a time to judge. Like I said, we already talked about that. There's a way that you can do that, but to examine who you're aligned with. Okay. Doesn't always have to be so obvious as idol worship and pouring out drink offering to the Queen of Heaven or putting your kids through the fire or something like that as a sacrifice. It doesn't have to be that blatant to be allegiance to another spirit that Yah knows about way more than we know about. I just did a little research and said, I'm good. Imagine what Yah knows about what these spirits can also bring to your life, and not only just bring, but can block from your life. Think about that. Don't you want everything that the Most High Yah has for you on this earth? You want to walk in purpose. You want to be all that you were called literally to be on this earth. So you can be a blessing for yourself, but to your family, to your friends. You want that revitalized mind that we were talking about, the transformation of mind that we were talking about, the healing, all of the good things and the gifts that come down from the Father. We want them all. Could it be that he knows something about these other little gods and things and different spirits and stuff that they block certain things? He knows more than we do. We could do all the research in the world. He still knows more. So we want to listen to him. So it looks like it's not that serious. Like that's what they were saying, Judah. It kind of seemed like they were kind of playing like it ain't that serious until it is, right? So that's what I got for you guys tonight. And yes, covenant. I see yes, covenant. Yes, 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 yes. Hallelujah, covenant. Any thoughts or anything like that, you can type them in the chat. I don't have help me remember any important things that I wanted to share at the very end. I told you guys, so we're ending, we've ended the live. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. Again, thank you for much love. I love the little ticker at the bottom, you guys. It really makes me happy when I see people support the work that the Most High Yah is doing here. It really, truly does. I just saw the ticker go by, just shouting out our Patreons. And then what else was I going to share with you guys? And that super chat is so funny to me. I think it's a super sticker, Nicole, the jumping up like that. That's hilarious. The gymnastics. I cannot do that, by the way. But anything else I wanted to share? I already talked to you guys about Sunday, if you could make it. That'll be Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. I will not be at Starbucks. I'm always at Starbucks drinking my coffee. Could you imagine you guys come back on Sunday and I'm literally like, that's horrible. But no, I'll probably be like, maybe I have to find another. There's like what is it? Dutch is down the road. Maybe I can go there. Hopefully their Wi-Fi is good. Y'all got me. So we'll do that on Sunday. Talk a little bit, and then I think that might be it. Let me show you. Most of you all know where the music can be found, but you just never know who watches later. And some people are going to run across this channel that don't know about this channel at all, don't know. And I want to make sure that they know it's from the studio to the scriptures, like the music is the foundation of, actually, let me rephrase that. The music is not the foundation. What we're doing here tonight in the scriptures is the fuel that it's like the foundation that fuels what is going into the music. So by the time the music comes out, this is what keeps me going, is what we're doing tonight. So it's just a different variety of what Yah has put inside me. But the music, I definitely want to make sure people know where they can get that. So let me just show you. Let me go back here. For those who are brand new and existing people, if you don't know, you can get some incredible life music that will encourage you and keep you uplifted. It's not just like feel-good music, although it will make you feel good. It's really healing components in this music. I do believe the more and more that I grow and I learn, and as I get older, I see what Yah has gifted inside this music, and it points you back to him, but it also builds your confidence in the process. If you go to octavialifemusic.com and just click on, I'll just scroll down here. If you click on, you can click on anything, but I would say go to the MP3 albums first, and you can see the new mixtape that's going to be coming out. I'll talk a little bit about that on Sunday. And if you scroll down, this is where you'll see the digital album collection. And so there's tons of albums here. I always let you know that if you just type in something like if you're, I don't know, just curious, type in a T and you'll get albums that have a T in it. Or if you're looking for a specific, like Yah Will Be With You, that's a good one. It's like, boom, right there. Another good one is The Wonderful Sabbath, a collection of worship songs. So, I mean, you can find what you want there, but I want to always give you an opportunity to share the music with other people. This music is crazy fire, not just because I made it, but I know what is in it. There's testimonies, there's stories, there's things that actually help people get through, but also uplift them to their next level in the Most High Abba Yah. We're all on this journey together. So I hope that you will share the music if you already know about my website. And if you're new, this is where you can go and check it out and listen and all of that good stuff. last thing, if you're not a Patreon, I invite you to become a Patreon to go deeper with me. You can find all of the links in the description of the video. And I think that's pretty much it that I wanted to share with you guys tonight. Did you guys have a good time? We hung in there. Do you guys realize we've been going for like 5 hours? And I'm just like, we've been going since 5. We've been going for 2 hours. I'm salute to you all. Seriously, that is amazing. I hope you have a wonderful Shabbat. It doesn't seem like 2 hours, does it? It just like kind of went by. I think an hour may be a little bit too short, apparently, for the kind of deep discussions that we get into and stuff like that. But yeah, I hope that you all have a wonderful Shabbat. I was going to show you the last little thing here. Remember that candy I told you about? The good candy is good stuff. Now, if you were here, I would be sharing with you. So you're just going to have to act like you're here and I'm sharing. So this is what, first of all, oh, you can't see. Hopefully you didn't see that. That's my nickname. If you've seen it, then you've seen it. But these are the, my mom got me all of these, but I wanted to show it to you. Let's see if we can get it good. Oh, is that going to focus in on it? Hold on. I got to cover my face, I think. There we go. So those are the chocolates I was telling you guys about. Handcrafted vegan snacks, chocolate covered potato chips. See at the top, it says dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free, nut-free. And it says a bunch of stuff on the back. That was one. These are pretty good. These are really good, actually, these ones. And these are actually less calories, too. The chocolate-covered sandwich cookies. They're really sweet. Not so sweet where you have to, like, brush your teeth literally after you eat them. But these are a little sweeter than the chocolate-covered chips. But see, only 120 calories. Not too bad. These are probably my favorites. The chocolate-covered gluten-free pretzels. So anyway, I just wanted to show you. I think I shared last week about those, and I hope you can taste them through the through the computer. I promise, if you were here, I would just share. I'd be like, here, you guys, take what you want. Just leave me some of them pretzels. That's it. But anyway, that's all I have for you tonight. And do me a favor. Do the stream a favor. Do all of us a favor, because we all in this thing together, you guys. When this closes out, sometimes it takes a while, so it might be tomorrow morning. Come back through and not only like, how many likes do we have on this video, you guys? I thought we got up to about, I know we had like maybe 11, 12 people watching at one point. It could have been higher than that, but how many likes do we have on this video? We should at least have that many likes or more. If you guys make sure you like the video before you cut up out of here, please. And also when you come back, I think Nicole was the only person that came back on the last stream and commented. I think, sis, you left some diamonds, which is cool. You can leave your thoughts too. You can feel free. You know, this is your platform as well. It's our space together that we gonna be carving out as the times get darker, honey. We gonna be here shining our light. So come back. It might close out tonight, but sometimes, especially 2 hours, it might be processing all night and come back in the morning. So if you don't see it tonight, come back tomorrow and leave a comment. And make sure that you like the video, because that will help other people who are tired of the deception in and out of the church, who are looking for the Most High. Maybe they have been hurt spiritually, but they still love the Most High, and they need some a good place where they can come and learn without judgment, and where they can feel safe. You know what I mean? And this is one of many spots that the Most High Yah is using. So we definitely want to make sure that people can find us and the music. All right. Oh, hey, it's Lindsay. Yalia Shalom just wanted to hop on and say hi. Good to see you, sis. Good to see you. All right, everyone, I am out. Have a wonderful Shabbat and Sabbath. Eat good, rest well, all of that good stuff. And Yah be with you. Hopefully, I'll see you on Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for our coffee convo and connection. All right, I'm out of this piece.